Just as the sun stretched its golden arms across the sky every Sunday, Lucas and his mother walked to the park. It was their special place, a pocket of green where the world seemed to slow down. They brought breadcrumbs for the birds, peanuts for the squirrels, and stories to share. Lucas was growing up. His shoes were getting bigger, and he didn't always want to hold hands. But the park still made him feel like everything made sense. They especially liked sitting under the big oak tree they called the Storyteller. On school days, Lucas walked through the park alone. The leaves whispered in the wind overhead. The ducks waddled near the pond, quacking. It should have felt peaceful. But lately, it didn't. Two boys had started waiting by the water fountain at the park. Big voices, bigger shoves. They called Lucas names, knocked over his backpack, and threw his lunch into the pond. Lucas didn't tell his mom. He didn't tell anyone. The next morning, they were waiting again. Lucas tried to pass quickly, but one of them grabbed his hoodie. The other snatched his bag and dumped it. Then, rustle, rustle, something stirred above. A blur of fur dropped from a tree and landed squarely on a bully's shoulder. Claws, chatter, and chaos followed as a squirrel bit the boy on the ear. The boy shrieked and spun, trying to shake the squirrel off. Before he could, a second squirrel leaped from the bench and scurried up his pant leg, clamping its claws right into the flesh of the boy's butt. More came from branches, bushes, and fence posts. A wave of fast, furious, and fearless squirrels raced toward the bullies. They yanked shoelaces, stole hats, tugged at sleeves, and bit a finger or two. One squirrel grabbed Lucas's lunch and dragged it back, chirping proudly. The bullies screamed and ran, stumbling over each other, chased by a squeaking, scrambling squirrel storm. They didn't stop until they were far beyond the park's edge. Lucas stood alone, blinking. His hoodie was torn. His heart was pounding. But his lunch was safe, and his enemies were gone. A man on a distant bench bent down to tie his shoe, barely noticeable, like any passerby pretending not to stare. Lucas gathered his books from the ground. One of the squirrels darted back, chattering proudly with a scrap of cloth in its teeth. The man from the bench rose and sauntered toward the far path, hands in his pockets, as though he'd decided it was time to leave. The squirrels watched until the coast was clear, disappearing back into the trees. Lucas didn't hesitate the next day. He walked through the park the same way, only this time with his head high. A squirrel scampered along the fence beside him. Another dropped a pecan at his feet. Lucas smiled. From then on, he brought more than snacks. He brought names, stories, laughter. He learned the secret paths between trees, the meaning behind their squeaks, and the trust in their tiny eyes. The park became a place of strength.